Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very series of the webinar, which is conducted by TRP on the various topics of Oracle Risk Management Cloud. And we are very happy to have you on the first session of the series, which is on Oracle Risk Management Cloud 23B batch. So just as a quick housekeeping, we would request all the participants to post their Q&As into the chat box or onto the drop-down Q&A option, which is available on the doc below. And we'll be taking through the questions towards the end of the session as we progress. So before moving into the webinar, I'll quickly introduce myself and the firm I represent. Myself, Samson George, Director for the Oracle Advisory Wing or Vertical of TRPglobal. And just to introduce TRPglobal is a leading risk management and solution provider, which is headquartered in United Kingdom and has regional offices globally across Germany, in UAE, and parts of India. And we, being the leading partner of the Oracle in the risk management space, one of the three, we believe in delivering value, helping you through your risk management journey and take you to a success, which is reflected by more than 18 plus published client success stories. We are also awarded as the global emerging risk advisory firm and have been recognized by various global institutions for the great work we have been doing globally to help customer in their risk management journey, taking them across and helping them with various solutions, innovations, and methods to emerge as successful in terms of their transformation. We have a large pool of consultants, more than 50 plus Oracle certified consultants who are there at disposal to help you understand the problem and help you through there. We also do have a product wing, which is IRM, which is a proprietary tool which integrates with Oracle Risk Management Cloud and various leading Oracle ERP solutions and other ERP solutions out there. And with these tools and enablers, we are augmenting what you are existingly getting and helping you automate your various risk activities. Oracle Risk Management Cloud, of course, brings in a lot of pre-built content, a lot of various controls and various quick click of a button kind of an action items. But on top of it, with our enablers and tools, we are able to augment it to more than 4,000 plus controls, various kinds of custom reports, various intuitive dashboards and bar graphs, pie charts, which most of our customers across the industry are utilizing to help them have a bigger picture of where they are going and how it's all coming and sitting into one single picture. So TRPglobal has footprints globally in terms of having delivered projects in various continents, in multiple countries and various industries, not limited to, but telecom, manufacturing, logistics, shipping, BFSI, public sector, to name a few. So with that, it's a cross skills which we bring on the table in terms of delivering value. So I can see there are a lot of participants joining in. Thank you very much for joining. And I can also see that there could be two sections of the group who are joined in for the session. One particularly having that interest into understanding what risk management is. They are just starting onto the journey, evaluating what the prospects are, what the possibilities are, and also looking into the various capabilities of the solution as they are embarking on the journey of the risk-aware culture. And also there are a separate section of people who have joined in who are very much focused on understanding what the new patch update 23B has in store for them, because they have implemented certain parts or modules of Oracle Risk Management Cloud and would want to understand what next is laid down for them as part of the new patch update. So just to keep everyone on the same page, I would again repeat the very same statement which I started off my session with. If you have any question answer, please feel free to post them into the Q&A box available on your toolbar. You can see it on the bottom of your screen or wherever it is appearing. So you can post in your QA and we can address that towards the end of the session. So very much said about TRPglobal. We now move into what are the best practice recommendations in terms of risk management cloud. So having experience in the various industries globally and having dealt with various customers, Our consultants or advisors, as we call them, have a rich experience and to jot down various key or best practices which are supposed to be there as you embark on your ERP transformation or HCM transformation or any such transformation in terms of technology, which is from a risk management point of view, you need to streamline your compliances, your audit, your statutory requirements, your business continuity planning. So as we stand in 2023, it's very evident that few of the very known problems, anything to do with a war or to do with a pandemic or anything to do with the simple security threat or a cyber attack is directly affecting your organization's performance. So keeping risk management at bay is not an option anymore. And the sooner we realize, the sooner we leverage the automation available in the industry, the sooner we achieve our goal. So streamlining these compliances, automating your security, your application security, your configurations, and the key transactions in terms of cash outflows, which are happening in your organization, has also been categorized as of being of paramount importance. So Oracle Risk Management Cloud, which is a fully integrated solution, provides you a very simple, effective building block in form of three layers, as you can see in front of my screen. So the basic or the foundation is controlling the user accesses. So application security forms any foundation for any risk conversations we go forward with. So having the right people have the right accesses very much solves most of the problems that you have. As you move to the next layer, monitoring the accesses or the activities which these users perform would be of the next primary importance. And as we climb up to the top of the block, we have streamlining of compliances, as I spoke before. You might be onto a journey of transformation already, or you might be contemplating the risk management implementation. So from a Oracle risk management thought perspective, you can start at any layer, be it the foundation, be it the middle or the top layer. This is a very modular solution. You can pick and start as per your priority, as per your focus, and as per the aim of what you want to achieve. But as part of the best practices, we recommend to start from the foundation, getting your accesses sorted, getting your user or application security in sync before we proceed. So all these said comes up to be a little bit overwhelming, but this breaks down into very simple set of 8 use cases which Oracle Risk Management Cloud provides. So starting from one or the base layer on the foundation, you can start off with ensuring the roles which you have are secure. So many of the partners or many of the customers whom we have interacted with start off with the assumption that the pre-built role or the roles which are provisioned to users are segregation of duty compliant, but that's not the case. These roles have been granted as part of the starting point or as the base point where you can start to get a quick return of investment of your transformation. So there has to be a monitoring around the user role being secure, the deep SOD analysis, and giving you the capability of performing access certification on top of it, and giving you a continuous monitoring of the user security. So there will be cross-department transfers happening. There will be new hiring, new people moving in and moving out. So with all these action items happening, of course, the continuous monitoring of user security becomes very important. Now, as once you have the right people given the right accesses, you would want to ensure that you are monitoring your audit trails, your sensitive configurations in terms of your supplier information, your supplier master data, your customer master data. So all these information needs to be from an audit trail perspective, has to be continuously monitored, and also detect suspicious activity with the best practice controls in place. Now, moving on to the final block, which is more from a workflow perspective. So workflow-driven compliances to your regulations, which could be SOX compliance, your GDPR compliances, your privacy, and if any kinds of private personal data information kind of regulations exist, to check whether all the workflows are aligned. There is a streamlining happening in there. You can utilize the final use cases. So as I was mentioning, all these use cases, 8 of them are the ones which are right now delivered by Oracle Risk Management Cloud's capability. You might be at various sections of this transformations, but we are there to help you. There is a wider team who has experience into implementing these solutions to various customers. So we are happy to support you. We are more than happy to have a detailed conversations to pick up where you are and guide you through to the end tunnel and obviously help you expand as you are embarked on your risk management journey. So that being said, is an overview about Oracle Risk Management Cloud, quickly stuffed into 2 to 5 minutes, and that's the best I could do to shrink. But going forward, the second half would be very much as the title for the webinar reads, which is What's New in the New Oracle RMC patch, which is 23B. So most of you would be very much aware that Oracle releases 4 patches in a year, A, B, C, and D. So right now, as we stand mid-year, we are looking into 23B patch, and the various changes are very much from a UI perspective. There are certain changes which are enhancing your reporting capabilities, your dashboarding capabilities. There are new set of controls which gets onboarded or removed as part of updates. But the focus for today's session is to quickly brush you through some of those key or very important kinds of changes which are coming in. And as you can see, we'll be talking through the financial reporting compliance, which of course is the workflow layer, which I was mentioned, the top of the block. And following up with risk management, I'll be very happy to speak through access request, which is a very new inclusion to the risk capabilities. And I'll be very happy to show you certain updates onto that side. And also speaking through access controls and transaction controls as we speak. So the matrix shows what kind of impact these changes are making, and if in case there is some customer action required. So you can see that most of the changes onto the prioritized list of 23B updates do require some interventions from the customer, but few of the others are having a very small scale impact or it's a UI betterment. So you'll be talking through all of these, and without further ado, let's quickly dive into the very next change, which is onto the FRC side, or financial reporting compliance, as we call it. Financial reporting compliance, or the workflow-driven solution, gives you the capability to record your processes, risks, controls, which are across your enterprise, helps you document and digitize your internal audit. So with that being said, the collaboration, the collaborative factor gets very much important here. There will be multiple stakeholders involved, and having a prompt response from each of them in this workflow is important for the success. So there is a new update which permits you to have rich text available in your reminders. Of course, we as humans do rely a lot on reminders. So you can have rich text, the font sizes, colors, underlines, and all those change as you make your reminders more personalized, and also helping the reader to act on it with a swift focus point on what is important and what can be actioned on. You don't have to do anything to enable this feature. If you are on FRC, if you're using it, it will be right away activated for you. Moving on to risk management, as I mentioned, there is a new feature, advanced access request, which is kind of helping you being a gatekeeper. So as you are entering into your transformation, you come into Oracle Risk Management Cloud space, secure role design, clean everything up. You give the right user the right accesses, everything sorted at that point of time. But now organizations are ever evolving. What happens tomorrow? There are changes, there are hiring, rehiring, shifting, moving, which is happening. So at that point in time, SOD review all the time, even though continuously is being done. What if you are given a capability that when a user is requesting a role or an access or a functionality, at the gate itself, the solution gives you an analysis that if you were to assign this user the requested role, there will be conflicts. There will be SOD violation or segregation of duty violations. So the solution does a segregation of duties and sensitive access analysis and kickstarts a maker-checker process in there. So as you can see in the screenshot, which is taken from a live instance, which shows that you can request or a user logs in, requests for a role, and the data access which is required for that person to perform. The minute the submission happens, there is a SOD analysis which gets performed. There is a check on what kinds of problems or what kind of SOD violation will occur if the user was to given this particular role. And depending on the reviewer approval chain, you can pick and choose what kinds of accesses you are okay to provision and which you want to hold on to. And this is a feature which requires certain additional accesses in terms of additional roles, which needs to be given to the admin folks or the IT team members who would be regulating the provisioning. For that, we are there to support you. If there is any queries, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be able to help you through. So this is a news feature, which of course is helping you minimize the risk of unacceptable risk accesses. As we proceed, there are certain changes to the models. So if you are using setup procurement, which is a sensitive access control scanning through system and giving you an outline of who are the users who can perform procurement activities, there is a small change in here. So it is like consolidation which is happening. So the existing control setup procurement prefix 6681 will no longer exist. And the four access points or action items which this control was scanning through has been split into two halves. The first half goes to the existing control called sensitive supply privileges, and the second half goes to sensitive purchasing privileges. So this is a consolidation. So if you are using setup procurement, you will continue using it. But if in case you are trying to import now, you might not find that control any longer. You will find these access points in the subsequent two, as mentioned, entitlements or controls per se. Such one more action has been, as an update has come in through, wherein the set of payables entitlement had a privilege which has been transferred to sensitive payment privilege entitlement, and set of payables no longer exist. So again, you don't have to do anything. If you're importing anything from fresh, you will extract or you will import the model sensitive payment privilege to reap the complete benefit of set of payable privileges as well being monitored from a sensitive access point of view. So that summarizes our control updates. Now, going forward, as you are aware that Oracle Risk Management Cloud provides you a very intuitive workbench to create custom controls as well. So there are more than 250 pre-built controls which are already coming in. Best practice, of course, you can right away import it, start using it, start observing your exceptions and start remediating it. But if in case there are requirements for you to custom create certain controls, there is a very intuitive workbench where you can import or you can create certain controls from scratch. So keeping that in mind, there are various new attributes which gets added onto the business objects as part of the update, which gives you more flexibility to have more checks done when you create your control, have a more streamlined output come to you to understand what your exceptions are. So the changes are happening in terms of updating the attributes and also making sure the new names are coming in, which is more relevant into helping you understand the front-end page attributes itself. So the name very much now matches to the pages which you see. So there are 4 attributes which have been updated with the name. So there is nothing which you need to do, but just keep in mind there is a revision in the names as you can see. Moving on to the next one. So there are certain fine-tuning also being done. So if you are using any of these controls, which I'll be mentioning through, which spans across common setup and HCM controls as well, you might want to rethink what you are existingly using. And as part of your 23B update, you might want to redeploy the existing controls, which has much better filtering capabilities to exclude any kinds of false positives as you are going through your exceptions. So starting from the common setup audit model, you have certain improvements in there to remove your false positives. In terms of your HCM controls, it is a classic did do control, wherein you are ensuring that the same user who had access to payroll transactions as well as personal payment method, is this user performing both of them? And if in case yes, what did they do? So that you get a better view into not only by having the access, but also by performing on the activity layer, what was the transaction which has happened. So there is few updates into the model logic, which is a pre-built control or a pre-Oracle delivered control. There are new filters which are added to the model logic. So if you are using 50,001 HCM control, you might want to inactivate it, import the new model, run through the results, understand the various results which are coming up, filter it down further as per your organization's requirement, and then redeploy it to achieve the maximum benefits of these new updates coming in and avoid the false positives. Another classic control onto the HCM side, employee new hire created and by the same user managing person payments. So of course, that's a classic case of a big no for any organization. You wouldn't want a person to hire the employee and also manage the payment methods for him or her. So in this case, there are additional filters in terms of the dates within which the transactions are being scanned, the valid assignment types, and various other such filters, which is coming in handy for you to get a true picture of the conflicts which exist within your HCM implementation if you are using HCM Cloud. So having said that, there is no additional setup you need to do as part of your patch update. The controls library will already contain the latest updated models. And if you're already using these controls, you might want to take a step back, import the latest one, see the changes, and then redeploy the latest model to avoid any kinds of false positive in there. So that covers the few key highlights on the risk management and the FRC side. And there is an important note on the action side which you would want to consider. So if you are using any control which contains a journal entry object, so as part of 23B update, which is almost 1 year back, there has been an introduction to a new business object called General Entry Expanded. So with Journal Entry Expanded, the performance or the impact on the user experience improves. So any control which you are using, I've noted down two of them. The manual journals posted after period close date or dormant GL accounts. If you're using any of these controls, which contains the journal entry business object as part of the previous update, you might want to look into importing the latest model in there, which has the updated journal entry expanded business object, which helps for a faster synchronization in there and helps you run down your controls in an efficient manner, and the user experience also improves. So a key note in here is we have customers who have many GL controls prioritized as part of their first list. So for us, we went through a rigorous impact assessment into checking if any of them are using these controls, helping them transition to the new version of these controls in a systematic format, having gone through all the various checkpoints. So if in case you are not actioning on it, just an undernote that by 23D update, which is towards the end of the year, the journal entry object will no longer be available for you to send. So the sooner you act on it, the better, so that the users also get to see a refined list of incidents coming in there. So having said that, these were the major updates from the very long list of updates which have come in. There are various other UI, UX kind of updates which are helping you interact with the solution in an efficient manner. There are various other technical changes which are coming in, which we'll be more than happy to discuss with you in a very focused manner, of course. So if there is any requirement of yours, which is to understand in detail what are the other changes and also help you with an impact assessment, we are more than happy to come in there, understand what your current situation and take you through that journey to have this new patch update coming in. And going forward, there are various other areas where you might have certain doubts. There could be certain areas where you want a deeper dive into understanding from a demonstration point of view, the various 8 use cases which I mentioned, of course. So happy to come in there, understand where we can support you, and happy to engage. So that being said, quickly summarizes the various questions or the various updates which are out there. And I'll just go through the Q&A box to see if there are any kinds of questions which are there. So I see there are various questions. Do we have to buy it separately or it comes with Oracle Cloud? Okay, so that's a very good question. So Oracle Risk Management Cloud subscription is quite different. So you subscribe to Oracle ERP Cloud, and you will get various functionalities for your finance or various procurement. Exists a separate part number, a separate track which you need to subscribe to. So happy to have a closer conversation with you into helping you understand which subscription suits the best for you and take you up from there. Thank you. So the next question is, can you tell me how the licensing will be considered by the oracles? So the oracle licensing from an ERP standpoint, so there could be various controls which are covering your financial processes or your procurement processes. So there exists a particular license in terms of giving you the capability of the advanced control or the bottom or the middle layer section, where you have the capability of automation embedded in a subscription model. And of course, you will have to purchase the licenses, which is a sum total of your finance and procurement users, but you will get 10 additional seats of FRC module along with it. So happy to have a detailed discussion into understanding what your exact requirements are, and we can engage with you in the correct format in there. For HCM controls as well, there is a separate license, but of course, as I mentioned, happy to have a deep close room conversation with you to understand what your exact requirement is and take it across from there. So there is yet another question, when is the right time to implement the solution? So that's a very important question or a very frequent question which we come across in any of our conversation with the customer. Cases, you mentioned where to start, what all to go on to the next stage, but when to start. So if you are into your Oracle ERP journey, the transformation, that would be the ideal time for you to begin. So there is no right or wrong answer, of course. As you start your ERP journey, that would be the best place to start. Take Risk Management Cloud alongside. Make sure the roles which you are creating in form of your user role assignment matrix are secure. There is monitoring on who are the users who will be getting certain accesses, and then move forward. But if in case you are in the middle of a transformation or have already gone live, that too is not a bad place to start off with. You can at that point also consider Oracle Risk Management Cloud. Of course, there will be a little bit of plumbing activity or remediation activity which will be put into place to help you restructure where the story problems are. But of course, at least a good start would be to start off wherever you are. Now, moving on to the next question. Request access, this comes under me for employee in Oracle. So this again is a part of a configuration on the advanced access request side. So the solution on the access request side comes under the risk management category, but of course that can be reconfigured, restructured to position where you want the access request option to come in. So it is even the pages on the Oracle landing pages which you see are highly configurable. You can pick and choose where the icons appear. So it's your wish where you want to position that icon. But the important point is that you start with advanced access requests to streamlining your ad hoc role request or any kind of role provisioning automation. So I'm again going to the chat box. Request access, this requires setup. So the answer is yes. So there are various job roles which are specifically created to manage the advanced access request capability. So the feature which I showed you gives you that SOD analysis, sensitive access analysis done, and kicking start a review approval process. So this review approval process, the management of who gets to be the reviewer, who gets to be the approver is very much defined by the user role. So the basic setup required is to have the right job role with your user in form of whether you being the admin or the reviewer for you to get started onto this particular feature. So happy to have a detailed conversation with you to understand how we can support you in terms of your request access requirement. All right, so there is one more question which we'll take before we close this session. In licensing, you mean Oracle will consider the finance or HCM user account for licenses? So the answer is that for finance or the ERP licenses, the sum of the financial cloud users plus the procurement cloud users that would be the summation or the subscriptions or the licenses you require to procure. Because of course, as you would have gone through the basic, what to say, the outlay of how this module works, this scans through every single user in your instance to give you with the exception or the violation. So that becomes quite valid that the ERP and the procurement users are considered for this control to run through. So the answer is yes. So having said that, I'll probably in best interest of everybody's time, I would like to thank all of you for joining in for the session. It was a brief one, but as I mentioned, this is just the start of a webinar series, and going forward, you need to just watch out the TRP space where we'll be coming in with more such updates which are coming in, which you need more information on. You can contact us in the mail ID given, contact us at techlistpartners.com. And also, you can quickly scan through the QR code to follow our page where most of our updates, most of our new webinars will be coming in for your quick perusal, and you can take it off from there. So thank you very much for joining. Have a lovely evening and see you soon.